So have you already figured out that you were going to be moving to Colorado? And now you're kind of in the process of, well, where should we move? Should we move to northern Colorado? Should we live in Denver? Or should we live in southern Colorado, maybe towards Colorado Springs, Parker, some of those areas? Well, today I really want to go through and explore some of the different aspects that you get from living up here in northern Colorado versus southern Colorado, and see if what might truly fit you guys. So these are going to be my top 5 reasons why you should move to northern Colorado versus, say, southern Colorado, and at least give you guys kind of a perspective on some of the pros and cons of each area. So let's jump into it today. And as always, my name is Connor Martin. I work here with Sukup Real Estate Services in Fort Collins, Colorado. And if you're ever looking to buy a home, sell your home, or just trying to find the right place to move your next big trip with family, definitely take a look at my next videos and some of my other videos and content. And if you always like these, please like, subscribe, and share. And let's jump into my 5 pro tips on moving to northern Colorado versus southern Colorado. So my first pro tip on why I would move to northern Colorado versus southern Colorado would definitely be the job market. Living up here in northern Colorado for the last 7 years, I've really got to watch Fort Collins, Greeley, Loveland really expand in terms of their job market. Originally, we really had like CSU as a big job market. Anheuser-Busch is another huge one. We also have some really good tech companies like OtterBox and some really cool design companies as well. And if you are someone who is in the healthcare facility, look no further, because northern Colorado has some of the best health facilities, and it's not going to be jam-packed like it would be in southern Colorado. You get a little bit more flexibility up here. You get a little bit nicer of individuals. Not saying that southern Colorado has mean people, but there's just a difference when you come up here to northern Colorado versus southern Colorado, especially when working with individuals. Your employers tend to be a little bit more forgiving, a little bit more upfront, a little more honest. And I've just heard so many good things from all different industries, from working at greenhouses, working on golf courses, working at UC Health, working at Banner Health, working at OtterBox. You know, we have some really top-end companies up here in northern Colorado that if you are looking for a job and looking for a place to escape from where you're living now, northern Colorado is a really good option. My second tip why I would move to northern Colorado versus southern Colorado would definitely be the proximity we have to Denver and DIA. Now, I lived a lot of my younger age, from elementary school all the way up to high school in southern Colorado. And I lived up in the Parker, Colorado, Elizabeth, Colorado area, which is kind of more on the east side, and about maybe an hour, 45 minutes away from Colorado Springs. And getting to spaces and getting to locations that were outside of that town were a little bit of a challenge, because really, Colorado Springs is a massive town. It is big, it is large, and it's got a lot of individual things there as well, but it feels like a big suburbia almost, in my opinion. And getting to, like, say, Denver is going to be over an hour drive. Going to DIA, you're looking at even longer, maybe about a 2-hour drive, depending on when you have to leave during that time of day. And so, commuting wise, northern Colorado is phenomenal compared to southern Colorado. And just being out right now I'm on one of our busier roads here in northern Colorado. This is Highway 287 that connects us from Denver all the way up to the Wyoming border. And as you can see, we got a little bit of traffic. It's around noon right now, and so we got a little bit, but it is nothing like when I was driving around Parker, Colorado about a week ago, just trying to go find some lunch, and knowing that I had to sit in a line for Panda Express for 30 minutes because there was a line outside the door. And so for me, commuting wise, and then just like population wise, northern Colorado really feels like small towns. Like right now, we just hit Fort Collins, and there is a good separation between Fort Collins and Loveland. If you're in northern Colorado or southern Colorado, Colorado Springs kind of mixes in with Franktown, which Franktown mixes in with Parker, which Parker mixes in with Aurora. and then Aurora mixes in with Denver. And so you're just this massive place where you're going to be fighting traffic and people all day. And so that would definitely be my second thing, is commuting wise. Denver to Fort Collins is an hour. DIA to Fort Collins is 45 minutes. And so, getting around northern Colorado, heck of a lot easier and well worth it on that side. And, typically drivers are a lot nicer up here than once you get down into that Denver tech area and southern Colorado. So just something to keep your mind on. My third reason why I would choose northern Colorado over southern Colorado would definitely be just the population size and what you get with population versus amenities. Because typically those things correlate. The bigger the population you have, the more nice things you have, the more opportunity you're going to have like Whole Foods or a Sprouts for grocery stores or natural grocers. You'll have some of the more desirable shopping centers, like being close to Parker. You're going to have like the Highlands Mall. You're going to have the Park Meadows Mall. And they're going to have a lot more opportunity for big box store shopping. And for some people, that's a huge benefit. And also with those bigger towns, knowing that you do have multiple options to go. If that one store runs out, more than likely you got another grocery store 10, 15 minutes away to where you can go find what you need. Here in northern Colorado, we are a little bit more separated. Like I was just saying, we have a good space in between Fort Collins and Loveland. It's about a 10-minute open space with some kind of, industrial buildings in between, but nothing more than that. And so shopping up here is a little bit better. I think we have some of the better restaurants up here in terms of quality. Maybe not in terms of Denver, but, Fort Collins is known for having more restaurants and bars than they do people almost here, especially when it comes to having different cuisine. That was always the fun part of Parker, Colorado, and some of those areas, is that you did at least have some options where you would actually have variety of food, from Indian to Chinese to Thai, but here up in northern Colorado, we have just as much or even more. It's such a tight, close location. So if you want some French food, we're going to be passing the La Crêperie. We're going to be heading downtown here in a couple minutes, and if you're looking for some really good breakfast food, we have Duck's Diner, we have Silver Mine Grill. If you want a little bit of Mexican food, we have El Pueblito, or we have some local ones that are downtown like Blue Agave. And so food-wise, I would say northern Colorado is 10 times better. And also, in my opinion at least, like grocery store-wise, I think we also have a better selection. And you can actually here go to the grocery store without feeling like it's just constantly busy on that end. And so just another really good benefit of having a little less people, but honestly having just about the same amount of amenities, or, in my opinion, more bang for the buck is what I would say, is less people, better food, better quality, and you get the freedom to be able to move around and operate within a community that is so tight-knitted. So my fourth reason why I would choose northern Colorado over southern Colorado is that we have some of the best outdoor recreation in the state, in my opinion. And, first off, we can just start off with Rocky Mountain National Park. That's one of the biggest top destinations, which brings over 500,000 people here each year during the summertime to enjoy some of the most amazing hikes, some of the most amazing nature in terms of animals. I've gone up to Yellowstone a lot up in Montana, and I'll tell you, I see more animals, more birds, more everything up in Rocky Mountain National Park than I do ever see, when I go up to Yellowstone. Yellowstone's cool for other reasons, but, I've yet to been able to see a buffalo up in Yellowstone National Park, where up in Rocky Mountain National Park, I've seen elk, I've seen moose, I've seen bear. I mean, you just get such a great variety. And the hiking trails, too. Like, we have so many different options, from over here in Fort Collins to some really great spots over in Loveland, Colorado, to heading up towards Longmont and hitting up Boulder. There are just so many opportunities within 30 minutes to go hiking that even if a trail is busy or overpacked, you can drive another 10 minutes away and go find a less busy trail. we're up in northern Colorado, it's a little bit tougher. You know, I actually just went and got engaged to my now new fiance, Lauren, and we actually were up at Colorado Springs. We went down to the Broadmoor, had some lunch, and we were going to go to the Garden of the Gods. Well, it's been a long time since I've been to the Garden of the Gods, and I will tell you, that place was jam-packed, and we went to Manitou Springs, and it was just kind of, you know, in my opinion, a little bit of a shit show, in my opinion. You know, it was just a lot of people, a lot of school buses, a lot of people and traffic that you have to work around, from bicyclists on the road to, you know, just tourism. And we do have tourism here, don't get me wrong. You head up to Estes Park, Colorado, you'll truly get to feel it. And even in northern Colorado, like Fort Collins and all those areas, you still feel it a little bit, but it's nothing like it is in southern Colorado. So if you're looking for actual adventure and having a little peace and quiet while you're doing it, northern Colorado is a good spot if you're looking for outdoor activities that aren't going to be just jam-packed. So my fifth and final pro of living in northern Colorado versus southern Colorado is definitely the community. No matter where I go here in northern Colorado, I am constantly bombarded with really amazing people, which, you know, you just don't get everywhere. You're out in the mountains, everyone typically will wave to you on that side. You don't have to sit there and worry that your car's going to get broken into in a parking lot. The community here is just overly friendly. It's overly abundant with people who are willing to share and help out when needed. I follow a Loveland community page where I live, where people are constantly reaching out to offer help to individuals who are struggling in life. And it just really shows you just how much opportunity there is to get involved with this community. I've lived in 6 different states, a couple different towns. I've lived, like I said, in Packard, Colorado, Elizabeth, Colorado, and there's just nothing that compares to here. You know, Bozeman was cool for a while, but it's outgrown its uniqueness. And if you ever heard anything about Bozeman, Montana, Fort Collins is a very similar feel to it back when it was actually a little less, you know, hip on that side, or a little less, you know, in terms of individuals that are trying to gentrify it a little bit. It's still saying it's kind of original old school ways. And so to me, it is just a spot that I'm happy to stay here kind of my rest of my life. I haven't personally been able to ever really say that before to any other places I've lived, because each one has their issues. And Fort Collins, Loveland definitely does, and northern Colorado does. And that'll probably be my next video, is my 5 cons to living in northern Colorado. But I think in my opinion, you know, this is just an all-around good place. If you're looking to find a spot that's going to offer all the amenities you need, the community that you would want, and, you know, a relatively affordable place to live compared to, say, like California, Texas, and maybe some of those other areas that, you know, are starting to become a little less undesirable, you know, Colorado is a really great option. So if you guys are ever looking to move out here, or if you guys ever have any questions about northern Colorado, because most people don't get the opportunity to come out and visit this area as much, definitely feel free to reach out to me. We love helping everyone find their place here, up here in northern Colorado, if it's up in Fort Collins or all the way down close to Denver in the Arvada, Westminster area. And so we do work in a relatively large area. We like being able to offer that type of support. And I hope these videos, if you guys click on my channel, or if you guys subscribe to it, that you guys can go out and watch my other videos on all the other towns in northern Colorado. And those should at least give you a decent idea of what's kind of going on and what we have to offer up here. So if you guys always can, please like, subscribe, and share. And we will catch you next week when we talk about the cons of living in northern Colorado.